Hi and welcome to the Studio Baco Primeau. Today we're going to talk about something that we often forget, file management. Let's dive in. So if you are working on a computer to record or do any music activity, you need to know how to manipulate your files. And that's something that many people just take as granted. And once there's something bad happening, well, it's very bad. So the first thing that you should do is manage your files in your computer in a way that they are easy to find, they are easy to back up, they are easy to work with, and if you want to go back with an old project, they are easy to open and run and, of course, worked on. After that, there's some ways to place them on some support that will be better for the performance. And I'm talking about what kind of drive. Of course, you can run some projects on external drives. If they are connected in USB, make sure they are USB 3 compatible because the speed is a lot better than USB 1 or USB 2. Of course, external drives rarely are as fast as internal drives. If you are using a laptop, you may not have choice. The operation system would be in the internal drive and maybe there's not enough space. So then go with USB 3 if you can, or Thunderbolt drives if you are on Mac. Another connection that might be a bit rare is eSATA, which is the same connection that you can find internally in your computer, but it allows to be used externally. So there's not a lot of computers that have that port, the eSATA port, and you can buy eSATA enclosure to put any drives in it. So those are easy to find. You can add that eSATA port if you are using a workstation tower or a desktop. But with a laptop, it's pretty hard to find. So of course, what I am doing with two drives, the idea is that you can run your operation system on one with the software, your DAW, on one drive, and then when you hit record, those information that are working on this drive are not in the way of your recording if you record on a separate drive. And you can go further as to use a third drive for your virtual instruments. Virtual instruments will use a lot of little files, maybe one or many for each key of your keyboard. So when you hit a C, maybe if you hit a bit harder, it will be a different sample, and a bit harder, a third sample. Some pianos can go up to 22 different samples for one key, and it goes all the way on the keyboards with 22 samples for each notes of the keyboards. So that means a lot of transitions to be done with the computer to play all those notes. And if you hit many notes at the same times, doing chords and stuff like that, all those notes need to be played at the same time. So if you load those virtual instruments on a separate drive, then it's not going to be in the way of your recording audio. So if you play a virtual instrument and you record your vocal or other instruments, or you're recording a band and then the keyboard player is using a special sound, a virtual instrument, then this will be in the way of the rest of the activity that the computer needs to be doing. Of course, for a full band, I would recommend having a separate computer with those virtual instruments that the keyboard player could control himself or herself. and then it's going to be independent of what you're doing recording the band. So that's another thing to think about. So you just recorded the best song that you ever did, and you're done for the day. Hit save, close the computer. There's something missing. You might want to do a backup of this new song, so the next time that you open your computer, if something wrong happens to your drive where it's saved, then you're not losing a lot of hours of work. There's a few media on which you can do backups. One old way is to put your data on a CD, not the final product, but all the independent files of your projects. Check in your DAW, maybe there's an export features that will do a backup of the whole project. So that's a good thing. But CDs are fragile. You can break them. They can have some scratch, and even letting them sit for many years, after that they may not work. They will peel, and many things wrong can happen to them. Another media that you can use to back up your files is a USB key. They come in many forms and size. They actually are a little bit better at keeping the data for a long time as a CD, but the thing is, they are easy to lose. They are easy to go in the washing machine and then fail. And those chips as well can be damaged. Then your files won't be recovered. So another option would be to use an hard drive, an old hard drive that maybe you use in your last computer. So you put your data on it. Of course, there's two sort of drives, those physical ones with magnetic disk in it, or the SSD that use chips, the same way of a USB key. So they all can fail. If I drop the physical one, the HDD, it will fail after that. I might not be able to recover my files. Same thing with the SSD. So in a way, any media that you use to do your backups might be damaged and your files can be unrecoverable. So what can you do? The best thing is to duplicate your backups. So if you decide to use external hard drives to back up your files, buy two, and then do your backup on one and then on the second one. So you have 3 places where your files are. The minimum would be to have 2 places where your files are. So if you let the files on your computer and on hard drives, that's good. And if you have a second hard drive, external hard drive, then it's all better, because at some point you might want to delete files from your computer to do more projects if the drive is full. And so you have 2 places to recover your files. And if you want to go further, take one of those drives and bring it to a parent or a trusted friend. So if there's a fire or anything to your home, then there's some backups sitting somewhere else. So I know it's very boring, but this is something that can save many, many hours, and creativity is something that comes and go. So you don't want to lose your precious time and your precious songs that you built and you recorded. Even so, if you are doing it for customers, losing files and telling customers that he needs to record again a song is very bad. Another option would be to use an online storage, but I can tell you refrain from using some public storage like Google Drive, OneDrive. Those online storage, if you read carefully the agreements when you open your account, they can access your files and they could even someday become public. So they are not very safe. I recommend that if you want to go with online backups, use a company that will sell you the service, so it will be very secure and maybe use very long passwords so you can access them. And of course, you can access those files anywhere. So that's a good thing. If you upload your files and then you want to mix to another studio, you can download them there. That's a good thing. So I hope that I made something clear. There's a performance issue where you put your files, and of course, how easy they are to find when you want to work on an old project, let's say. Also, there's the safety aspect that you need to be careful about. Make regular backups. It's a must. Actually, when this video is finished, just go to your computer and make some backups right away. Because you never know when something wrong goes with the electricity of your home or your studio. You never know when a drive will fail. So make some copies right now. I will link software that is free that can help you do that. It's called Unstoppable Copier. What is nice is if you go in the options, you can say copy only those files that have been changed or that are new. So it takes less time and you don't overwrite the files again and again each time that you make a new backup. Another storage option will be a NAS, which is a network storage unit that you plug on your network. Those comes in many forms. The best ones is to have many drives in it, and those that replicates to each other. So if one drive fails, the others will still have the content. But even having a NAS, you need to make a backup of what is in the NAS. Remember, fire, flood, those things happen, so be careful. So I hope you like this video, even if a bit more boring than usual. I think this is very crucial in our activities, so that's why I needed to talk about it. Go and make your backup, don't forget. If you did like the video, please click on the like button, consider subscribing, hit the bell to get notifications, and put questions and comments in the comments. Of course, suggestions for new videos. Also, in the description of this video, there's the Unstoppable Copier link, but also a link if you want to purchase some merch, help the channel grow. Every penny will go to some gear and show stuff to you and create better content. So that's it. Don't forget to share those videos. Well, it's pretty helpful. Same thing with the SSD. After a while, they could... Ça, c'est bizarre, ça.